Hi everyone, welcome back to Planet J if you are a returning subscriber, and welcome to Planet J if you are a new viewer. Whichever group you fall in, thank you so much for watching. I love you. My name is Jay, and today we're going to be doing a pick a card reading to see what makes you such a good person. This reading is just going to be about you. I'm going to try my best to channel these messages without like taking information from loved ones or like friends or even like, past people you've engaged with around you, like their thoughts. I just want this to be kind of like a simple message, like, from spirit in the universe, just about, who you are and what makes you special and what makes you a good person. So, yeah, we have 4 cards to choose from: 1, 2, 3, and 4. Choose as many as you feel drawn to, and I'll see you in your reading. You have 30 more seconds to choose your group before we get started. Give it a like or leave a comment if at any point it resonates. It really helps the channel, and it helps me in the future, get better with these readings and give you guys the messages that you feel you want or need to hear. Okay. 5 more seconds and then we're going to get started. All right. So, card number 1, welcome to your reading. We're going to be looking at right now what makes you such a good person, and this is going to be just messages from spirit. I'm not going to really be tapping into anybody that you know personally in this reading. I just want to see kind of like the objective truth about you and your best qualities and traits. So, yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and without further ado, let's get into your message. So the card you chose is, wow, the Tower. The card you chose is the Tower. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see the image fully, because this is going to be the first card that I tap into for your energy. I think what makes you such a good person is that whether or not people like it, you are meant to shake things up, to change things, and to create a difference, to make a difference, to make a change. And it's significant for it being the Tower. It changes not only the trajectory of your own life, but that of others. And let's see how you do this. Some of you guys, it's that you break generational curses, or like, let's say there's something that your aunt, your uncle, your mother, your grandpa, whoever struggled with. You could be the one that changes that for your family or for the people that come after you. So that could be a significant factor to who you are. Okay, so let's keep flipping over the blind pulls that you got and see. I'm excited to see what cards you got. Okay, so the first card is the Hierophant. Wow. The Tower to the Hierophant. Okay. The Tower to the Hierophant. I think I actually want to put the card that you chose here. And I'm going to put this number down so that anyone that joins the live knows that we're on group number 1 right now. So group number 1, you chose the Tower. Okay. Yeah, that makes it easier to get through the message. Okay, here we go. So, what are the cards that you pulled? Let's take these ones first. Okay, so we've got the Key, the Anchor. Wow, the Key and the Anchor. Very significant. Very significant. Definitely not somebody that is on this plane in this lifetime and, leaving a ripple. It's like you're leaving a wave. It's like a wave, because I'm seeing this anchor. Okay, what else? Ooh, 3 of Swords. Yeah, exactly. 3 of Swords. And the Death card. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing about this that is like small or lacking intensity or even struggle. This is all about depth. So what makes you a good person is the fact that the things that you've been through, or the changes that you've had to endure, or the disappointment or judgment or whatever it is that you've experienced in this life that you've gone through, it actually has made you a better person. And you take it to make yourself It's almost like the energy of someone that's been through so much that they have no choice but to leave the world better than what they found it, or at least leave this life better than the way they started. So you could definitely have a past or a story to you. Let me see if I can zoom out just a bit. 1, 2, 3. Just so you can see all the cards. That's much better. Okay. So we've got Parasite. Please don't come for me if I'm pronouncing any of these crystals incorrectly or any of the other cards. Obsidian. Yeah. There's so much strength and like protective energy to you. And I think that's what makes you a good person. Let me see. Cuprite or Cuprite. Cuprite or Cuprite. I don't know. Okay. We have the Ten of Pentacles. Wow. Ten of Pentacles. The Emperor. Jesus. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry in this group. And I'll explain why in a second. Ten of Wands. Yeah, there's that struggle that I was talking about. The struggle, the hard work, the breaking your back, the I heard like pushing yourself to certain limits. If that makes sense. We have the Trine. House 6. Wow. And some of you guys, you do this for your job or for your work. Or you do this with your family or people that you see every day. Like you could be the type of person to help a neighbor, help someone around you, volunteer. You don't have to be, but with House 6, it's telling me that you being a good person is not just you being a good person. With the Hierophant and House 6 coming through here, it's that it actually could change other people. It actually could help other people. And I'll tell you why. I feel like you are like the Grim Reaper. You are that person that helps lost souls find their way. And even if they don't show you appreciation in the moment for what you do, the way that you change them makes the world a better place. I feel like in this group, you don't get a lot of thanks for the things that you do and for the way that you show up. Because I feel like in this group, you may have to put a lot of people in their place. And I know that this reading is not supposed to include other people, but the fact that you've gotten so much major arcana and energy, to me, that just kind of feels like someone who they don't get to choose being this type of person. You trigger people in this group. And I feel like in this group, you've been triggered a lot in your life too. And it's the way that you move through those difficulties and come out stronger almost, or come out wiser. So the way that you engage with other people, the way that you move in this life, it's different. It's like once you've changed, you've really changed. And so the people, the energy, everything around you, it follows suit. So yeah, you are a big deal. And that alone makes you a good person, because I feel like in this group with the Death card, it's giving me the energy of like the Grim Reaper. It's giving me the energy of like I'm reading this book. Well, I already finished it. I'm rereading it because every time I reread it, it just gives me new messages and new lessons. But it's called The Summer's Path, and it's a part of a sequel. But in the first book, The Summer's Path, there's this character. His name is Robert, and he is in charge of finding lost souls and helping them basically save their soul so that their soul can finally rest when they've passed. And sometimes those lost souls, they actually meet in this life, and those lost souls were just reincarnated into another person so that they could finally fix their karmic past. And sometimes they get off of that route, and the guy Robert, he's in charge of making sure that stops happening. And I feel like that's you. I feel like that's the type of person you are, and that's your mission in this life. 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, you probably have had to do so much on your own in this group, so much on your own. And I'm so sorry, because it has made you somebody that can really, really, really get a lot of shit done and help a lot of other people. And it's made you very humble as well. But I feel like for some of you guys, it's turned you cold, or it has left a taste in your mouth when it comes to other people, and whether or not the people around you can be like truly good people. I feel like in this group, you've seen some really great people in your life, and you've also seen some really horrible and shitty things. And that's what makes you such a good person, is that through all of this, through all of the examples and trials and tribulations that you've been through in this life, that would have made any other person view humanity a certain type of way, with you it's different. With you, it has actually pushed you to find solutions instead of problems, to get your own stability instead of being codependent or relying on other people, or even using the things that you've been through and the way that you've been harmed as an excuse to do that to other people, or to not do your best, or to move without integrity, move without respect, or even loyalty. 2 of Swords. And finally, the 5 of Cups. Yeah, I was getting that. I feel like in this group, you've been through so much loss and betrayal in your life that sometimes you could have felt like you didn't know which way was up. And Some of you guys, if it wasn't even betrayal, it was just disappointment after disappointment, emotions that you didn't understand, feelings that you didn't have, treatment that you feel like you didn't deserve. And I feel like, unfortunately, for a lot of people here, this could have started in the home with the family, with the father. Or for others of you, unfortunately, it could have been from an abusive partner. And for others of you, you've dealt with all of that in such a short amount of time, or in such a short amount of time that you've been here in this life and even in your past life. So that's what I mean when I say it's not even about what you're doing now that makes you a good person. It's the fact that even it almost feels like even the next life, every time that you are brought back onto this earth plane, you still continue to pursue this mission. It feels quite like a mission. Like it's much higher than you. I'm seeing on this card it says like high vibration. So let's start with the message and just kind of let everything flow, because I feel like in this group, I don't know, it just, I really need to apologize to whoever is here, because I feel like you probably didn't get as much apologies as you've been deserved in this life. Truly, truly. And for a lot of you guys, you should have been protected when you weren't, or you should have been, kept in mind when you weren't. Damn, some of you guys have really been like kicked when you were down as well. And what makes you such a good person through all of this is that what you did, instead of hurting another person, or maybe you did at some points, but you learned to get out of this and do something different. What you did, or what you will learn to do, is protect yourself, know your worth, and push through the struggles. And at the end of the day, be able to look back and see the bigger picture and see why everything had to happen the way that it was, and understand why certain losses had to happen the way that they did, or why that job didn't work out, or why you weren't able to accomplish that goal at this time that you wanted to, or why this thing used to make you feel unhappy or insecure. And now in your life, maybe that's the one thing that you want so badly. It kind of feels like in this group, you've been thrown for a loop a lot in your life, because the different lessons that you've been meant to learn from have been almost like examples. So like let's say one of your father, or like a masculine in your life, they never knew when to make time for family. They never knew when to lead with their heart. Then what they could have done was provide, rule, say this is acceptable and this isn't. But they never taught you to break this rule, because it's not going to serve you in this lifetime. It was meant to keep you down. They never taught you that I don't know, when someone does this, it really means this. And sometimes when you lose somebody, you don't lose them forever, but they may come back. So I feel like the lessons that you were meant to be taught, maybe by your like parents or your family, or even like close ones, or people that were supposed to kind of be that example for you, they could have almost like taught you the wrong thing. So you've had to, it feels like, find angelic support in yourself, find the perfect flow on your own almost. And some of you guys, at different times it has felt like you've been drowning, and other times like you are the one steering your own ship. And I think in this group, really enough, a lot of people can feel intimidated by your energy, simply because you are that this this uh, person here, creature, whatever you want to call it, on this horse. It's like you come in and shit is meant to change. So anybody that leads with an iron fist, anybody that is around you and they're not doing their part, anybody that is around you, especially women, for this group, it feels like especially women that are coming towards you with like evil eye, or like negative energy, or just like not like reciprocate. I feel like those are the ones you change the most. I feel like in this group you probably impact women the most, and people that you work with the most, because it's something about like seeing the bigger picture and doing something not simply for yourself. The Hierophant, they are in a lot of tarot decks represent like the Pope, or a religious person, or someone that's like a therapist or a teacher, basically someone that is in charge of like leading the masses. And that takes a lot of integrity, it takes a lot of wisdom, and I feel like altruism. And I feel like in it, what has made you such a good person is that your, I don't want to say failures, but like your pain is what has led you to find the answers. So you know how like some people, when they go through a certain struggle, they ask their boss what to do, or they can ask their parent what to do, or their colleague, or their friend, or their partner, or their teacher, or their priest, or whatever, someone that they're supposed to be able to go to. And I feel like in this group, you've always been that person that people have come to. So people come to you with problems or questions, and they don't really bring you solutions. And I feel like in this lifetime, it has taught you your own strength. It has taught you your own worth, and that your goals are achievable. But along the way, there have been losses and confusion, and a lot of like emotional ups and downs. For some of you guys, you've had to make decisions out of practicality rather than what you might have actually loved or wanted. So, like, let's say you really wanted to live in this area, but you couldn't afford it, so you had to move here. It's like choices that maybe you wouldn't have wanted to make, but you had to. And in those choices, the lessons that you learned from them have been the healing, have been the key, if that makes sense. So what makes you a good person in this group is that it's something like you're not leaning on other people. You're not making your problems other people's burdens. In fact, through everything that you go through, you still try to offer people solutions. I feel like you give people the ability to take a rest. You give people the opportunity to not have to make tough decisions. And you give people the help or the need or the aid that they need, the support that they need to go through tough losses and disappointments. But you probably have never really had that for yourself. And if you had, it came with, I heard strings. Yeah, it came with strings. So in this group, you probably have asked yourself why a lot, like, why did this happen? Why am I feeling like this? Why do I no longer feel like this? Like a lot of like questions and confusion, but other times fantasies, but they're not fantasies. I feel like they're real, like achievable dreams and goals that it's almost like I feel like every time you guys feel like you're close to where you want to be, that maybe you feel like there's a setback or a delay or someone or something else getting in the way. What's so interesting is that this particular card here, this particular crystal, it talks about how it's best used or even just like used to hold over your third eye to help you look at your past lives. And I feel like in this group, your past lives have always been extremely like impacted by your family. So let's say in a past life, your family was very rich and you were like the Cinderella of the family or the black sheep of the family. Black sheep is like a fairly, how do I say this? Like recent term that we've started to use in like the psychology world and like day to day that describes like unhealthy family dynamics. But like in the past, they didn't really have that term. It was, something else like the imp or the bastard or whatever. Right. So, I mean, take your pick. But I feel like in a lot of your past lives, this is the struggle that you always dealt with was the almost like, I don't want to say being ostracized, but like, it almost feels like there's a part of you that didn't fit into society. But at the times when something innovative or intense or like it almost feels like you have the ability to tear shit down and start over, but it's because you've always had to be the one to hold yourself down. So I feel like in the past with family, like let's say when something was going wrong, they could blame you, but when they really needed help, they came to you. So it's almost like in these lifetimes up and from that past point where that like karmic past was like set in place, you've had to be the one to bring peace to your own mind. But what makes you such a good person is that maybe through all the struggle and through all the things that you've had to do, all the disappointments that you've endured, you probably have saved a lot of other people from heartbreak. Like, let's say you are a parent and you work day and night to provide for your children. There's that right there. Or let's say you have a best friend that is constantly going through X, Y, and Z, and you're there for them. But your best friend is like family to you. It's like something like that, where it's either family or like community that is coming through here for what makes you a good person. But this isn't something that you've been in this lifetime. It's in multiple lifetimes. And I don't think that every single group is going to have this energy, particularly because every single group is using the same decks. So not every, like, you have the death card, the Hierophant, and the Three of Swords. To me, this is like giving generational karma that was set before you were even put on this plane. What I mean by that is like, let's say I don't know what race you are, so please don't take this message and think, oh my god, this is not my reading because I'm not black. But I'm seeing like the almost like a story of like somebody who in a past life was like a part of like an oppressed group or something. but it's like they rose above and they actually changed their community and the world around them in a way that like made a big impact. So every time that you are reincarnated, that's your mission. But it's like you have a lot of people that I would say either feel intimidated by this, jealous about this, or kind of like want to keep you down because you force them to change. You force them to find their own answers or to almost like be their own person instead of relying on you. And there's that like push and pull, I feel like that almost like sense of entitlement that I feel like some people have had with you. And for some of you guys, this has affected your own intuition. I think you're an extremely perceptive and intuitive and wise person. And this intuition that you have has come from the experiences that you've had in your past life. And I feel like every single time that you go through this heartbreak or struggle or a new situation that has left you confused or feeling heartbroken or like you've had to start over, you actually learn something new. And it may not come to you in the moment, but it comes to you later. And every single time that you learn that lesson, the way that you interact with other people, it changes. So you change people without realizing it just simply because you actually stay on your path. You know, it's like some people, like let's say they got into a big argument with their partner because their partner was telling them that they felt unappreciated. But just because their partner said one thing that made it sound like they never saw anything good that they did, they blew up on their partner. They blew up on whoever the person was like bringing up the issue. So they never actually changed. So let's say they get divorced now. In the next lifetime, maybe they're single because they still don't learn the lesson that sometimes it's about taking accountability, or sometimes it is about considering another person, or sometimes it's this, or sometimes it's that. I feel like people meet you, and it's like you're that person that would help them save their soul. You're that person that would almost like, I don't want to say like curate a situation, but like be a part of a situation that would almost like what's that word? Redeem them from any past mistakes. Like let's say someone has a past, right? They tell you what they've done, and if they're honest and they're upfront about it, you would accept them and you would not make it harder for them or not make them feel shitty. But if they come to you and they lie, or if they come to you and they try to manipulate or make themselves seem like a victim, then the way that you engage with them is a part of their path. It's a part of like the lesson that they're meant to learn, because the way that they like the way that they did that certain thing, they did it wrong. So now they've added 7 years onto their struggle. You're that person. So I feel like in this group, you probably have had a lot of people like dislike you, or a lot of people blame you for things. But at the same time, when they're in a good mood, like thank you, or, you know, kind of give you like a passive aggressive, like thank you, if that makes sense. If you've ever felt confused, which you probably have, as to why this has happened, or why you have had to walk away from people, or why you have always had to be the one to end things, it's because that's who you are. You are a good person because that is who you are. So don't think when you have to call someone out, or when you have to be the bitch or be the mean guy, or when you have to, I don't want to say like hit someone where it hurts, but like say the truth that someone else doesn't want to speak, or, you know, call someone out because they knew that they were wrong, but they were hoping that you didn't catch on, or hoping that you wouldn't call them out for it and make them change. Don't feel bad for being that person, because that is who you are in this lifetime. That is who you are meant to be. And for the right person, you are the person that will make them a better person and make them change. So this isn't even just about like your close relationship. This is about you. This is about who you've been in every single life that you've been reincarnated into. And you know, not everybody has been reincarnated. Some people, some souls, I feel like maybe they're reincarnated into the trees, or another living soul, like an animal, but others are reincarnated into human beings here on this plane. And I also feel like in this group, what you should know is that anybody that you have lost, anyone that you've lost, like to death, they live through you. So whenever you're feeling down, whenever you are struggling or not living up to your potential, you should remind yourself that. I feel like that would be enough. And some of you guys, you may not realize it, but when you feel alone, just know that you're not. You have angelic support from people that you may have lost or are no longer here. And you probably already know that. You probably go through certain situations sometimes wondering why you feel like you're doing things that are not almost like you didn't choose to, but you feel guided. You feel like you have to do this. You just have to. You don't know why. Just do it. Because I feel like that is those people. If you have someone that you lost, that is that person or those people giving you those messages and kind of giving you that push. And I feel like the more you fight it is the more you struggle. So let's say, for example, you had a shitty relationship with feminine partner or a mother or a sister or a daughter, and no matter how hard you try, you keep trying to fix the relationship and they don't want to learn, and you keep getting this urge to walk away, you should listen to that, because it's almost like those spirits are guiding you, either the people that you've lost or your ancestors or your spirit team, whoever it is up there. It could be anybody. That's not what this reading is about, but like that's what the Seven of Cups is. It's like each of your spirit guides kind of telling you what is worth it, and where you should cut your losses, what you should decide to walk away from, because it could be stressing you out, or like making you extremely tired when you don't need to be. Things are meant to flow perfectly in your life. That's what you're meant to learn in this lifetime, is that things are actually meant to flow perfectly for you. So this is a lot of fixed energy that I'm seeing, fixed and mutable. So some of you guys, you have fixed and mutable signs in your chart. So it's like you could feel sometimes you don't know whether or not you should stay or go, whether or not you should see it through or end it. And I feel like the more that you almost like deny the truth that you already know, that's when the struggle comes in. So let's say, like I said, you're dealing with a feminine or someone in your life, like a mother or sister, or a coworker or a partner, whoever. And no matter what you try to do, they can't take accountability. They can't meet you where they're meant to. They can't clear that karmic past. Then you're meant to leave, because you're not meant to struggle. You're meant to have this perfect flow that it says on this card. So every time you feel yourself pushing and pulling or going through that, that is a message for you. It's not meant to be like that. It's meant to be smoother. Your everyday life is meant to go smooth, by the way, especially when it comes to your work. So if you're trying your best over and over to accommodate or to dedicate yourself to something, to fix a relationship, to protect another person from harm, and they make it out to seem like you're the bad guy, that's the only thing that you need to know. Your time with that person is up. The time that they were meant to have with you to learn that lesson is up. That's what the Tower really is. Time is up. The Tower comes out when time is up, right? So you pissed off your best friend for the last time. The Tower card comes out because you're either going to have an argument that is the biggest argument of the friendship that makes or breaks you. Like you either fix things and the relationship will be better, or it's over and it's a loss. So when you're feeling this push and pull, when you're feeling exhausted, when you're feeling alone, like no one is supporting you, your message for you good human being, is to take a look around of your everyday life and ask yourself, who's holding you down? Where do you feel safe and secure? And if there's no safe and security, if there's no smoothness, then you're doing something wrong. You're sticking out longer than you're meant to be there. You are the key. You are the key. So people can either pick you up, hold you, and use you to unlock their heart and heal, or they can ignore it and they can feel like they're drowning and take you down with them. And your message is to not let them. So whenever you're feeling like you're trying so hard to be this good person, or to be that support or that example or that partner or that friend or whatever, and it's just not working, your message is to look around. Look around and ask yourself, what is moving smoothly in my life? Who actually accepts me freely? Who actually listens and knows that I don't mean any harm? Those situations are the one you're meant to see flourish and keep bringing this intense, passionate, energy that you have. But it's the ones where no matter what you try, it's just block after block, confusion after confusion, misunderstanding after misunderstanding, hurt after hurt. It's not meant to be like that for you. It's not meant to be like that for you. Maybe in a past life, but not anymore. You've saved enough. It almost feels like you've saved enough people. So that's your message for this group. You're a good person and that you saved enough people. So any of the relationships that you're in right now, friendships, partnerships, business deals, whatever, where you feel like you're saving or doing too much, your message is to let them go. Let go and let live. Yeah. Okay. So I hope that resonated. If it did, please give it a like. I feel like in this group you could have like 8th house placements. Some of you guys, you could, but I don't even want to get into like the astrological placements, because this is just This is so intense, and like it feels so tiring and exhausting to be in your shoes, honestly. Like, I think I would feel very tired and exhausted if this was my karmic path, because you're meant to experience friction and hurt and pain. I mean, you see these two cards right here up top. So if you, I mean, I'm sorry, but tragedy, it has made you who you are in this lifetime and in the past. With some of you guys, unfortunately, with your family members, it was meant to do the same, but they didn't let it. Didn't let it. So it's almost like you're here to stop the pattern, and it starts with you. So you have to stop. You have to stop pushing. You have to stop trying. You have to stop. You just have to stop. Hmm. And rest. And rest. Yeah. And make decisions that are practical for your health. So if, especially your mental health, I feel like in this group, you guys gotta have like physical manifestations of like psychological issues. So if you're feeling pain, ask yourself if you're getting enough sleep, if you've been eating right, if you've like been around energy like vampire, because I feel like those things where you're so strong, like mentally, that you can deal with these things on a day to day, but they manifest for you physically. They manifest for you in your health, your emotional and your mental health, and in your relationships, like your everyday relationships. So yeah, you might be able to have a good interaction with a stranger on the street, but look at your personal relationships. If they're looking a little rough, then you need to look back and assess and figure out where you can stop, or where you can ask another person to show you more appreciation or understand where you're coming from. Because I feel like in this group you could do a lot. And for people that either feel entitled or are not quite at a point where they don't rely on you so much. Yeah. I feel like you want to see people live to their full potential. And you can't do that by enabling them. You have to show them where they can work on things, call them out, be that tower, and then leave. That's who you're meant to be. And then the angelic support and all of that comes after. Like the partner, the easy flowing, not having to struggle with the work, the money, and all of that. I feel like that all comes after you finally say, I need a break. I've had enough. I've been working for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, changing and helping people and being the aid. And you don't have to be that anymore. Kind of feels like. So yeah, I'm hearing this song by Janae Aiko. It's called "Born Tired." She says, "Baby, I was born tired. I'm gonna need more fire, way, way more fire." So some of you guys, you've actually developed like some habits probably to cope with all of this. And I feel like once you realize that that's where those habits have stemmed from, and you trace it back and stop it at the root. Like I'm hearing, cut it at the root. That's where it all ends. So for some of you guys, the root was your family, it was your father, it was your boss, it was, I don't know, it could have been a lot of things. But I'm hearing just stop. I keep hearing stop, stop. Enough is enough. You've done enough. Like I literally keep hearing rest, rest in peace. So maybe that's what it was, is that your soul never got to rest in peace. And in this lifetime, it's meant to. But you keep fighting, you keep pushing. And I don't know why. I feel like in this group, you probably don't have to do as much for work to be successful. It's not even about being happy, it's about being successful. Because in this group, you found happiness in like dark places. So it's not about the happiness, it's about the success, I feel like, for you. And it's about this, it's also about the security for you, the success and the security. And I feel like you don't have to work as hard for that as you might think you do, because you're a good person. Yeah. Okay. So if that resonated, please give it a like. And I'm going to pick up the cards now and move on to the next group. Okay. Here we go. All right. Very interesting message that just came through there. And damn. Yeah. Wow. Thank you for the work that you do, for the person that you are. I really do feel like you probably have saved a lot of people from like hurt and harm in this life, just because, like, let's say you curse somebody out. You probably curse somebody out so bad that they actually did change. But you might not have been around to see it. I feel like in this group, you may not realize it, but like your view of people matters. So if you tell somebody that they're not a good person, they might just change. They might just change, to be honest. But I feel like what you do more often than not is actually try to help them. be a better person. And that's cool and all, but it's like up until a certain point. You can only help somebody that wants to be helped. Okay. So here's the second group. Let's put the second group out now. Okay, group number two. Welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for joining my channel and visiting. I hope you come back. Let's look at the card you chose, and then we have a bunch of blind polls to look at to see what makes you such a good person. So if it resonates, give it a like, come back for another one on my channel. I hope to see you here again. My name is Jay, and yeah. Okay, so the card you chose is, the King of Pentacles. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see. The King of Pentacles. Okay. So what makes you such a good person? Okay. I feel like you guys probably have a lot of emotional people around you because of how like calm and steady you can be. Oh my God. Oh, look, 10 of Cups. Oh my God. What makes you such a good person? It's your heart. It's your heart. It's your heart. And how you are such an unconditional lover. It really feels like, yeah. Okay, Sunstone. Wow. Oh my God. Sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. That's you. That's you. Topaz. Oh my God. I'm hearing this song, Topaz Jones, by Topaz Jones. And it's just like such a groovy, like funky song that just every time I hear it, I want to get up and I want to dance and I want to smile and like laugh and just like be carefree. And I feel like you probably have touched a lot of people in that way. Stromatolite. Four of Swords. Yeah, so peaceful and healing. You don't even realize it. But you showing another person love and acceptance is healing for them. So that's what makes you a good person, is that I feel like you don't judge. And I feel like you really consider other people. And I know that this reading is about like what makes you a good person. So that naturally includes like including other people's like views and perspectives. But this is also just like an energetic thing, and who you are. What makes you such a good person is that you try to bring warmth to other people. You're like the light in the times of dark for a lot of people, and even for yourself. Some of you guys, what makes you a good person is the way that you manage and handle your own emotions. Yeah. Two of Swords. Wow. Two of Swords. I feel like in this group, you're so like clear-minded. Some of you guys, you're like emotionally mature, very emotionally mature. This is giving a lot of maturity. Page of Swords. I feel like in this group, you why do you seem like a very like down to earth person? Like some of you guys, you kind of come off like a bit of a hippie. But I'm also getting that there's some people here where you're not a hippie at all, but you're more like the science type. But it's like the blend. So some of you guys, it's that you have like spiritual knowledge and like I don't want to say like scientific knowledge, but like more like academic knowledge. If that makes sense. Book smarts. You could be book smart and like a different type of smart. This almost feels like it just, I don't know why this feels so safe. Why does this energy feel so safe and like nurturing? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Man. Wow. I feel like you're somebody that other people might feel like comfortable crying around or something. Like I don't know if you've been around people and they just like break down around you, or maybe you feel like you always have to like lead situations or come up with like, I don't know. I'm just seeing somebody like see someone cry and like trying to make them laugh or like trying to make them happy. That's who you are? Coffin. Wow. It says ending, loss, and sadness, depression, illness, and transformation. That's kind of what I was getting. Why does that feel like you? Why does that feel like the type of person you are? To make a sad and like grieving person see the light. You can make the saddest, worn down person feel loved and special and significant. And I know that this is supposed to be just about you, right? So I could tell you all these like amazing compliments of the way that you view the world and how thoughtful you are and how contemplative you can be and how you don't see things the way other people do because you actually take your time to figure out why you feel the way you do, why you do the things that you do. I feel like in this group, you're such a trustworthy person and you trust yourself, and that makes you a good person. Because I feel like people that can't trust themselves, they get themselves in situations where they might end up hurting another person because they assume things about them, or they treat them a certain way, assuming that they only want to hurt them. But it feels like in this group, you lead with love. And that's what makes you a good person. Is that the impact that you can have on another person when you lead with love is I don't know why I just feel so strong. Ace of Swords. You're honest and truthful in this group. That's what makes you a good person. Is that when you care for somebody, you tell them. When you find out something that is not right or appropriate, you do the right thing. I'm hearing somebody say, "Let me know. Let me know." So you would be the type of person to tell your friend that their partner was cheating on them, or that they were getting scammed. The sun. Oh my God. Didn't you hear me? I said sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. That's literally you. Literally you. Literally you. What? The sun. Oh my God. Look. Look. You got the sun again. I mean, I can't make it up. Like, I mean, so many, there's so many examples of seeing the sun here behind the Ace of Swords, the sun here on the Ten of Cups, the sun here. It's like you have this like childlike innocence. And it doesn't mean you haven't gone through things. It doesn't mean you haven't gone through things. But it just means like you are not tainted. You're not tainted. It seems so pure and like full of life. Some of you guys are so confident, and so that confidence and that like high vibe and like energy rubs off onto other people. So you do make situations better. You do make that party more fun. You do, make that sad person happy. Ace of Pentacles, no fucking way. Oh my God. And you know what's so crazy is that a lot of you guys, you've been this way since birth. You've been a blessing since birth. Oh my God. This is crazy. And you know what's so crazy? It says here on this card, I don't know if you can see, it says self-expression and embodiment of truth. So what makes you a good person is that you don't hide yourself. You don't change yourself. So what that does is it leads for a life of like happiness and like purity. I don't know why this feels like it spreads to other people. What makes you a good person is that it's like you being this way, it's bringing good things to you. It says on this card here, conjunction, a union, merging, and coming together. So what makes you a good person is that you could be this person that in the darkest times, you try to get people to come together. You don't want people arguing. You don't want people fighting. You want harmony and peace and love. And people might look at you and think that that is so naive, and that you probably have not gone through anything to believe that that's even possible. But it's like you don't hear that and change yourself. You hear that and you try hard. It's almost like you try harder to show people the blessings that life can bring, and that life is a blessing. Yeah. Why does it feel like you're the type of person to understand that life is a blessing? To have air in your lungs is a blessing. To be able to be yourself is a blessing. There are some people that can't be themselves, because of their culture or because of their race or because of whatever. It almost feels like in this group, it's like you show people that there is a possibility to be who you want to be, to not have to change yourself. So that's your life path in this group, is to be yourself. Isn't that so special? In this life, like the other group, their path was like changing as a person, evolving as a person, because they were almost like stuck in this repeat. But it almost feels like in this group, every time you might be new, to be honest. You might be new with the sun card. That's, to me, that's giving birth. So some of you guys, this is like your first time here on earth. And yet when you came out, it's like swinging out the gate. You've always been so honest. You've always been a blessing. You've always been resourceful. You've always been the type to lend a hand, happy to help, happy to hear, happy to listen. And that's what makes you a good person. Some of you guys, you have this like vitality and strength to like, and confidence, like to go after your goals. You make people look at themselves differently. So like you give somebody a compliment on a body part that they always hated. Now they love it. It's their favorite thing about themselves. You tell that person that their friend is not a real friend. They finally get to see things and take the veil off, and they stop talking to that person, and it's like, I don't know, now you're their best friend, or now they actually have a friend that appreciates them because you showed them something, you told them the news, you gave them the news that no one else wanted to tell them. Like, I'm seeing somebody be like, hey, there's something in your teeth, or like tell somebody politely that, hey, there's something like on you, or don't freak out, but blah blah blah. Like, I'm seeing somebody like seeing someone being followed and being like just grabbing their arm and being like, hey, and just pretend like you know them just because you care. Seven of Pentacles, work, and the Three of Pentacles, oh my God, satisfaction. Yeah, I mean, this is really showing me that you are a blessing to people that have a lot of discontent, like in their life. I feel like in this group, you can make the most out of any situation. A situation that would make a lot of people feel hurt or disappointed. You see potential. You see a shiny diamond. You see something in the rough. You know what I mean? It's like you find that needle in the haystack. So I feel like in this group, you're very unique as well. You're a leader. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It feels like a full heart, and someone who's so patient, and someone who does not rush people to feel comfortable, to get over things. Like, you're not the type of person to tell a child or someone that you care about who's like going through a rough time, or not performing at their best or whatever, like, just suck it up, just move on, just get, like, some of you guys, maybe you've had people tell you this, or maybe you feel like you've had people try to take or dim your light. In the way that you handle situations like this, that is what gets people to change. That is what gets people to want to be their true self. Because it's like some people, all they know is being a shitty person because that's the example they were given. All they know is being a bully because their parents bullied them, their sister bullied them, their mother bullied them. And I feel like with you, it's like you don't even tolerate that. You lead with honesty, love, and light. But you don't retaliate either. It feels like in this group, you don't retaliate. Maybe you used to, but it feels like if you used to be that way, you don't anymore. Not unless you really, really, really have to. But that energy is not even coming through. I think in this group, you're extremely funny too. It's like you make people laugh to a point where it's like they're holding their stomach. They're holding their stomach, or they leave an interaction with you and they're smiling. Like, oh my God, that was so awesome. What makes you a good person is that you take the time to understand what it takes to make things work. It just kind of feels like, a good thing takes time and patience. Somebody I once knew used to tell me all the time, patience is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. And I feel like this is a virtue that you have. The King of Pentacles is so patient. They're so wise. And they don't freak out when there's an issue. They don't start questioning which way is up just because an obstacle showed up. They understand and they know that life is life. Such is life. And, every opportunity is a place to grow. Every opportunity is a place to learn. There's always a way to look on the brighter side of things. And they make a lot of people feel safe and accounted for and respected because they act like this, because they show up in life this way. So this is what makes you a good person. It almost feels like this is who you are every single day. Every single day. You speak life into the earth, into some of you guys, you probably like pray over your food, or, give a lot of thanks and like appreciation to the people around you. And it really does make them feel appreciated. It really does make them feel smart. Like, I really feel like you could give somebody a compliment and you literally breathe life into people by the things that you say. You could literally take somebody out of harm's way, or from harming themselves, or just like giving up on themselves by just being yourself. Somebody could have been thinking something wasn't going to work out, and I don't know, it's like you just being you. Some of you guys, it's something that you say, like your directness, your honesty, that makes you such a good person because you don't lie. If you don't like somebody, you don't lie, but I feel like you're also not going to treat them bad. There are some people, when someone doesn't like them, they treat them bad. And it's not because they're not a likable person, it's because that person just, they don't even like themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you've ever met somebody like that, where it's like there was nothing wrong with them, but their whole life they've had people treat them so poorly that they can't help but do that to other people because that's all they know. And then you get around them, and now all of a sudden they want to be nicer. Now all of a sudden they want to learn how to compliment people, or they want to learn empathy, or they want to learn how to, give back. They want to learn how to be more patient. And I heard they want to know more about what's going on in the world around them because this is who you are. Wow. 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 Yeah, this feels like very hospitable, very encouraging, very generous, warm. I think that you give people a lot of love that they never received, love that they need in the moment. Like you know when you're having a rough day, like a rough fucking day, right? And like for whatever reason, like I don't know, let's say you have to talk to another person, or you're that person that is like, this is what I needed to end my day, or I had a really terrible time today, but just because I ended it and I got to talk to you, or I got to even just see you, or see something you posted, or hear about you, even like it's like I see you put a smile on a lot of people's faces in a world where like things can be so dark and so full of like pain, to be honest. Like I feel like pile number one needs someone like you in their life. Whoever pile number one is, they need someone like you. For sure. They deserve someone like you. Yeah. Not me playing matchmaker, just kidding. But okay. Yeah. So if that resonated, please give it a like and come back for another one on my channel. I'm gonna pick up these cards and I'm gonna get started now with group number 3. Okay. Here we go. Very, very, very interesting energy coming through. Wow. I feel like you like an excellent like parent, grandparent, but also like an excellent sibling. Like I could see you being like an older sibling, like the best older sibling. You could be like your children's like best friend. I feel like people come to you and they could tell you anything. Like people come to you and they feel like they could tell you anything about themselves. They could truly be themselves, truly express themselves, and not have to sugarcoat or make themselves smaller. Wow. Why does this feel like? Yeah, yeah. This is just crazy, and I love it. I love it. I love this. Wow. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate you being here. So without further ado, now we're going to get started with card number 3. Which is right here. So card number 3. Welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to give you this message. We're going to be looking at what makes you such a great person. So I'm going to try to keep this objective, but in each of the groups, different like lives that they've touched have like came through, not like specific people. Like in most of my readings, when I'm channeling, I allow like the door open for my channeling to see like what specific person's coming through, whether this was like your brother, your uncle. But I think in this reading, we're just going to try to keep it very general. So let's see the card that you chose and get into your reading. Ooh, the 6 of Swords. Wow, 6 of Swords. Wow. I am almost like brought to tears right now because I feel like I don't know why this feels like you have made a lot of like scared people feel like it's gonna be okay. Scared people. Why does it feel like scared or like persecuted people or something like that? Let's see. First card is the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. I heard every little thing. It's gonna be all right. Okay. Barrel. Calcites. Blue calcites. Okay. And charite. I can never pronounce this crystal, so please don't come for me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But I love that you got this crystal because I feel like you and group number 2 have similarities for sure. But this group almost feels like a little like feisty, like a little like a firecracker almost. A lovable firecracker. The Chariot. The Chariot. This is like idol. This is giving the idol. It's like an idol or someone that you really would look up to. 8 of Pentacles. Wow. You're so hardworking. You're so determined. You just keep going, don't you? You just keep going. You just keep moving. Look, Queen of Wands again. You keep going. You're so attractive in this group, by the way. So attractive. Oh my gosh. You are like the person that someone would see in public and be like, oh my God, do you model? Or I don't know. I just see people looking at you from afar and like wishing that they could engage with you. Job employers wishing that you weren't already employed. People wishing you were single or wishing that they were single to be with you. So I don't know how this makes you a good person, but I guess it does because it shows people that there are different possibilities for them. Yeah, yeah, different possibilities for work, for their goals, for their attractiveness. So like let's say you work out a lot or you've made a lot of progress when it came to your confidence, but you didn't used to be this way. It's the fact that you've worked on these things and that you broadcast this or that you don't shy away from talking about these things that makes other people think, huh, I guess it really could be that simple, or I guess I could try, or I deserve that. Yeah, like I'm seeing somebody give like the meanest pep talk ever, but just because like you don't like to see anybody feel sorry for themselves or sit in a situation that would make them ever feel that way because there's no reason for them to. I'm seeing somebody kind of like talk to people like, what the hell? What are you thinking? Why are you even doing that? That makes you a good person. Because I feel like in another group they were more gentle with their advice, with their energy. But I feel like you're like that person that someone needs to come to when they need someone to light a fire under their ass, when they need someone to tell them, no, like get it together. Ship. Damn, you got boat again. Yeah, this is movement, by the way. This is movement. You got forward motion in this group for sure. For sure. This is like, damn, I need to be on the type of time that like pile number 3 is on, card number 3 is on, stork, new beginnings. Damn. You probably reinvent yourself all the time. Your style is crazy. Like I'm seeing somebody like a head turner. A head turner. Oh my god, look, you got the lovers. Okay, so the people that you have touched the most in this lifetime, it feels like is like partners or friends that were in need of a friend. You know what I mean? I'm gonna cover, yeah, and I'm feeling like drawn to this rose quartz, which is the stone of unconditional love, and I am seeing with this crystal right here. This talks about a self love that is so deep, that it also like spreads to love for all life on the planet, and I feel like that's who you are genuinely, whether or not people want to see this or acknowledge it. That's truly who you are. But I feel like what is so good about you is that you don't waste time trying to prove to people that you have a heart or that you actually do care or that you actually could help. You don't waste any time in this group. And that is what makes you a good person because it's an inspiration. It's an inspiration. 5 of Swords. Yep. Yeah. Some of you guys, you're cocky. And this makes you a good person. It's not arrogant, though. It's not arrogant. It could just be confident. It could just be that you're extremely smart and that you know your way around. I'm seeing somebody very stealthy, very smooth, big suave, like you know what I mean, like somebody. That's what I'm hearing. Like, yeah. And this makes you a good person because I feel like people look at you and they're like, damn, I want to be like that. It's like you don't know what is possible until you see another person living the life that you want to live. And you may look at your life right now and think, what? But I don't have this, I don't have that, or who would, or maybe you're more humble than other people perceive you to be. You could probably be way more humble than other people perceive you to be. But it's not about that. It's good that people don't perceive you to be humble or people perceive you to be a little cocky or a little like not the one to shy away from a compliment. You know why? Because the people that don't allow people to compliment them, the people that make themselves smaller, the people that don't dream big, it's like they need to meet someone like you. They need to meet someone like you because it's like they're like, wait a minute. I'm the 5 of Swords is my wait a minute card. Like, wait a minute, did they just slay me? Wait a minute, wait a minute. I thought I was the best dressed here. Oh, wait a minute, I thought this was the only thing that was offered. And then you come in and you're like, what do you mean? Opposition, yeah, yeah. There's that imbalance, that power struggle. There's that. Wait a minute. I mean, literally hearing somebody double take, look at you and go, wait a minute. Like I don't know why I keep hearing that. It's like on repeat. Yang. Yang. Page of Cups. Yeah. I feel like in this group you could be very like creative. Very creative. Some of you guys, you do wear your heart on your sleeve, and others of you, you're a lot more of a, when you get to know me, you get to see how dope I am and like how kind I am and how sensitive I can actually be. For others of you, you're sensitive and you're the life of the party. Five of Pentacles, delays. Yeah, yeah. I feel bad for anybody that ever tries to cross you in this group because they're gonna find out. I heard you're gonna learn today. Yeah, look, 7 of Swords. As I say that, anybody that tries to lie or cross you. 6 Six. Yeah. Look. Oh my God. You got three bolts here. So nothing will ever stop your motion in this group. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing is ever going to stop your emotion, your accomplishments, your success. So if you feel like you're in a funk right now, baby, it's not going to be like that forever. I promise you, because that's what makes it like you. There was another group where I kept saying you don't have to do much. You don't have to do much. But I feel like in this group, you actually do. You actually do a lot, but you make it look easy. Mm-hmm. So I feel like in this group, you're meant to like kind of come in and make people take a look at themselves and maybe even like, I don't want to say this to make you feel a certain type of way because you probably don't want to make people feel this way. Or probably, you've gotten like some negative attention or like people trying to like fight or cause issues with you because of the type of person you are. But I'm just going to keep it at 100. You're probably the person that people's partners look at and think, damn, I kind of want to be with them. You're probably the friend that shows up and like shows that person that their best friend is actually a terrible person that doesn't actually care about them because you do more than what they do. You're probably that employee that does everything like to the like I'm hearing to the T, like you got it down. Like you, and if you're not an employee, then please don't take that message. Then it's like you're the client, the colleague, the business partner, the whatever, whatever you want to call it. That, I just keep hearing you slay it. Like you slay, like you feel like somebody that gets shit done, work hard, play hard sort of energy, emotional and smart, books and brains. Or wait, what is it? Beauty and brains, or if you're masculine, then obviously use the word that you want to use. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're the type of person that's like people look at you, they think you're not watching, you're not paying attention, but you actually are. You actually are. What makes you a good person is that I feel like you actually are flexible. You actually do get people to see that they can start over. That maybe what they're going through is just a transition phase, and that it's not going to be that way forever. But it's simply because when they look at you, they see where they want to be or where they could be. So I see this being difficult for you, obviously, because people probably make a shit ton of assumptions about you and the life you've lived, which another group also went through. But I think it's because they led with like their heart on their sleeve, and they were like, like not like bubbly, but like oh my God, they're such a good person. Everyone would say it. I feel like in this group, it's more of a like, I love myself enough to know that I don't have to prove myself to anyone. And that makes you a good person, because anyone who's a liar, I feel like they are exposed around you. Yeah, I feel like liars are exposed around you, because it almost feel like you like cannot stand to be around anybody who's like begging or like insecure and like pushing that onto other people. Anyone who does not do their part, anyone who's like not self-aware or who would try to like do something shady. It's like you can't stand to be around anyone like that. And you don't hold your tongue. It feels like in this group, if you don't hold your tongue around like shit like that. But at the same time, when something is going really great, you can make someone feel so loved with the lovers. Like, I really feel like you could be like the best friend ever, because you're so fun, you're so funny, and like, you know how to vibe with other people. Like, if you want to, you can get down and you can really like make people laugh and like flatter people if you really wanted to. Like, I really feel like you could charm anybody in this group. You could seduce anyone in this group, for sure. For sure. Some of you guys, what makes you a good person is that you provide people with like a relaxation. So like, let's say you're a masseuse, then I guess then that makes you a good person because you're healing people through your ability to make people feel good physically. But let's say it's something different, like you're a doctor, then it's the work that you do. Or let's say that you're none of those things, but that you just work at a place, and when people come to you, have a good time. And that's what makes you a good person, is because you're like the thing that people can look forward to, like seeing or like going around. For others of you guys, it's simply the fact that you are an inspiration that makes you a good person, because everyone needs an idol. Everyone needs someone to look up to. Everyone needs someone to almost feels like to follow at some point. You're the person that people could follow. It feels like children. Like children could look up at you and be like, "Oh my God." And maybe some of you guys, you probably don't feel like that. You probably feel like, "Well, children should not be looking at me," but they do. They do. And I feel like there's just like boldness to you. Some of you guys, it's like the way you walk. You're not afraid to go to the distance. You create change. Why does this feel so swift and quick and like like I don't know, like I'm seeing somebody like dancing and like just like vibing and just not getting stuck in like any sort of like negative energy. And like these are the people that I feel like don't get enough thanks, because They're the ones that get the party going. Like, I'm seeing, like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, I'm seeing like a party that was dull as fuck until you walked in, and you just came in dancing, and now all of a sudden everybody's dancing, but you didn't know that because you went in with the intentions of dancing. But before you got there, everyone was sitting there worrying about all the shit that they had to do tomorrow. But you walked in, and now everyone is just loose. They're free. They don't even care about none of that shit. And don't take it as a party if you don't party or anything like that. Take it as whatever you want. But like, I just feel like you walk into a place and the energy just completely changes. Completely changes. Either they're sitting up straight, like the liars are getting called out. I just feel like there's this like I don't know, like something about this just feels like, oh my God, I want to be like pile number 3. Like, I want to be like pile number 3. Why does pile number 3 seem like they're never struggling? Why does pile number 3 look like they're always looking good? Why does pile number 3 look like their work is always getting better? Why do they always look like they're so powerful and like positive? Like nothing could ever touch them. Like, why do they always look like that? Why do they look like they could get anybody that they want? Why do I feel attracted to pile number 3? Like this is what people think when they're around you. And then they start thinking further, like, damn, how do I get like that? So you're a good person because you inspire people that way. You do. You actually do. And I feel like for the wrong people, the people that are always begging, the people that you unfortunately have to call out because they're too prideful, their ego is just terrible, they're emotionally stunted, they're narcissists, they're always having ulterior motives, they like to use people or hurt people. Like you don't make space for any of those people. It's almost like you make those people feel like they can't even fucking breathe around you. Like, don't even come near me, don't even breathe around me, don't even talk to so and so because how dare you. Like, I feel like you like, I just feel like you would never let a shitty person around you. So there's a different energy of like feeling comfortable with you, but I think it's more so because they know that you don't play that shit. There was another group where it was more of like a protective energy, more of a like it was their life mission to make people like that change. You're the type of person, your life mission is just to tell people like that, you're not even fucking worth it. Move. I'm hearing move out the way. I'm not even wasting time trying to help and heal you. You've had thousands of people like pile number 1 come in and try and help you, and you never fucking learn. Now you just need to leave. Now you're not welcome here. Like, you're that type of person. And I feel like that's what makes you a good person, because time and time again, good people waste time doing things that only delay their own happiness, that only keep them in a place where they have to lie and pretend to be happy when they're not, that make them feel like they're never gonna get their goals and success because they have to keep dreaming, that they're not gonna have to keep dealing with shitty people, or that their goals are actually achievable or whatever. No, you walk in and it's like they're looking at you and like, wait a minute, I guess I could lose 30 pounds, it's not that hard. Wait a minute, I guess I actually could finish this school. Like, it's not that hard. Or, okay, wait a minute, I guess I could ask that person out because look at them, they're happy. They seem to be in a good relationship. Like, it's kind of like that. Like, okay, wait a minute, I guess I could buy my girlfriend flowers. Like, oh, it seemed to work for pile number 3. Like, it's like that. Like, that's you. And it's just so dope. It seems so dope. This is dope. You don't realize it, but there is something so powerful, and I think that's the biggest word for this group, is how powerful you are. There's something so powerful in someone like this. Yeah. hmm This energy is just like, I'm hearing somebody literally go, fuck off, get away from me. Like, some of you guys, you're vulgar, you curse, or you make people feel like they don't have to like be so like pristine and precise like around you. Like, people don't have to follow the rules around you. People don't have to like do certain like social things that like most situations require them to do. So like, what if like somebody, like, you could be around somebody that like, I don't know, like is I don't want to say this and like offend anybody, but like maybe they were raised religious but they weren't allowed to curse, but they're having a bad day and all they want to do is go fuck, and you just let them. And that is just like, that makes you a good person, because I just feel like you don't realize that, but that's healing in its own way. It's healing in its own way to be someone that does just give somebody a different taste of life. And I feel like that's what you do, is you give people a different taste of life. Like, you give people the ability to be different than you and not have to change. You can find compatibility with just about anybody. You can be friends with just about anybody. Old people, young people, experienced people, inexperienced people, artistic people, even if you're not, scientific people, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So you get people to think and look at the world differently, because they're like, wait a minute. Not only do they show me that this is possible, but they're also a cool person. They're also dope as fuck. Like, what? So you probably get people that don't know if they want to be you, if they want to hate you, if they want to date you. But that's not your care. You don't worry about none of that. And good for you. Good for you. Good for you. I love this. I love this. I love this. This is dope. Yeah. The 2 words to describe you is dope and powerful. Yep. Unique, strong, determined, go-getter, ambitious, smart, intriguing, funny. Like literally, that's you. That's you. All right. So if that resonated, give it a like. Come back for another one on my channel. We're gonna get started with the last card, which is gonna be pile number 3. I do want to get you guys one of these angel numbers and see what blessings are coming towards you, because I feel like I meant to do this in the first 2 groups, but I guess there's a reason why Spirit, gave me the time to do it in this one. I feel like this message definitely went by a lot quicker than the other ones, because the other ones I was feeling like they were currently going through something that I wanted to give them like a message on. So the message I want to give to you is more so like what you can expect, like what positive things you can expect coming towards you. So let's see what comes out. Spirit, give me a number. The number that rolls will be the amount of cards I take off the top, and we'll take the number underneath it. So if I got a 1, I would take this 5844 off the top, and I would read the 1 underneath it. So give me a number. Okay, so we got 9. I don't know if you can see on camera. We got 9. So we're going to take 9 off the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Say it with me, guys. 9. Okay. So the number you got is 1140. So any of these numbers could be significant to you, whether that is 1, 11, 4, 10, 40, doesn't matter. So I don't know if this is like the day of a month, an age, a year, significant year for you. It really could be anything, but some of you guys, maybe this will be a number that's important to you at some point. Maybe this is the amount of money you're going to get soon. I don't know. But let's see. So what do you have coming towards you? You have new opportunities, wealth, luck, love, and prosperity. Yeah. So let's say you've been having struggles with like managing different priorities when it comes to like your relationships, your career, and all of these other things. I see that being something that is like more easily manageable for you. And it says white picket fence here. So whatever that dream is that you wanted for yourself. So let's say you have a dream of not having to work past a certain age, or you have a dream of traveling to this place, or you have a dream of having this car, or, having this type of partner. I see you having that. I do. Yeah, I see you having that. Because for some of you guys, I really think what it was is that for some of you guys, you had to grow into your confidence. You had to grow into being this type of person. So that could have been your like path in this lifetime, is to recognize that you actually are like lovable, and you actually are someone that is like attractive and that a lot of people might admire. So some of you guys, that was like something you had to work on so that these things could come towards you. So let's say if you used to be like more insecure or anything like that, the fact that you worked on those things is what is bringing this towards you. And let's say you're still struggling with those sorts of things right now, then it's like once you get all of those things down, then this is when these things will come towards you quickly. I'm hearing quickly. Wow. So new opportunities, wealth, love, prosperity, and abundance. And I love that for you. I really do. Because I feel like you actually want that. I feel like you've been working really, really, really hard towards your passions and your goals. And you probably have had to like change, I heard change course a little bit. Like maybe you've had to take some like detours, or some of you guys, you really have had to like change your goals for some reason. But just the fact that you've continued to lead with like confidence and independence and bravery and courage, that is bringing this towards you. I feel like you have a lot of good luck coming your way. A lot of it. A lot of it, because you don't realize it. I feel like in this group, you probably don't realize it. You probably in this group, you probably wouldn't call yourself a good person. Most of you guys probably do with the Page of Cups here. But some of you guys in this group, you wouldn't call yourself as good of a person as you actually are. Because maybe you feel like I'm not going out here and like feeding the homeless, or maybe you do, I don't know, but maybe you feel like I'm not going out and doing X, Y, and Z like this person that I would consider to be a good person does. But you don't have to do those things to be a good person, to touch people, to change people, or to make the world a better place. Sometimes you can literally just be yourself, and that makes the world a better place, and that's all you need to know. So let's move on now to our last group. Please give it a like, comment on the video if it resonated. Oh wow, let's pick up these chords and move on. I just feel like you guys are so funny. Why do I feel like you guys are like so funny, and like you can act like you would be the friend that someone could call to like pretend to be like I don't even know, like pretend to be their doctor, or like I don't know, like there's just something about you that seems like you would be someone's like partner in crime, or like you would be the person that someone could like go to when they're in trouble. or when they need to get out of a mess, or when they need to clean something up. Like, you'd be that person. Because I almost feel like you don't question people. You could just like tell me when and where, and I'll be there. You just feel like you're with the shit. With it, always. All right, so let's move on to the next group. The last and final group. I don't have a tag for you guys, so let me make one real quick. Dropped something. Sorry, y'all. Let me make a tag for group number 4 so that you guys can see where we are. So 4. Oh my god, the pen's going up. Oh my god. I'm gonna make a wish list so you guys can donate to the channel or anything. I've had some people come in and ask me where my Amazon wish list and stuff is, and I'm like, I haven't made it yet, but I will. All right, so group number 4, this is your reading, and I'm gonna put that number there so you guys know. And here's your card that you chose. We're gonna be looking at what makes you such a good person. If it resonates at any point, please give it a like and come back for another one on my channel because I would love to have you. All right, so let's flip over the card. Wow, the King of Swords. The reason why I'm saying wow is because I'm seeing these lines. I feel like in this group, you're so focused. Everything you spit, everything you say is facts. Some of you guys, you actually like make music, or your music taste is like is pristine. Like, you have really great music taste. I don't know why that makes you a good person. We'll see. But it also says here truth. So what makes you a good person is that I feel like you guys are so honest. So honest. Even if it hurts. Which is similar to another group. So let's see. What makes them a good person, spirits? First card is the Page of Wands. Aww. Okay, so what makes you a good person in this group is that you are an amazing friend. Every single group has touched people in different ways. Like, one of the groups I feel like was like romantic and like or with family. Another one was with like whatever. I don't want to spoil it if you felt connected to or called to more than one group. But every group basically touched people in different ways. And I feel like in this group, what really has made you such a good person is the friends that you have impacted when you were a child. You had friends when you were younger, and you impacted them in a crazy way. And some of you guys, even in your adulthood, you are still like a really great friend, or like a person to come to for like advice, or even just to like vent to. I feel like you really do listen to hear people out, and you tell them what they need to hear rather than what they want to hear. Jasper. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Moss agate. Green moss agate. And I actually have that crystal here. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. I'm not sure if I have it in here. I used to put it in my wallet, carry it around with me throughout the day. Yeah, I don't know where it is. Never mind. Let's keep going. Green aventurine. I do have that, I have 2 of these in this particular crystal bowl right now. This is one of them, green aventurine, and the other one is right here. I also wear another one around my neck. So a lot of green is coming through here. So I don't know if you guys are like natural, or I heard herbal. I don't know what that is. So maybe you're very chill in this group. You seem to be very chill. Another group had like no chill. They were like almost like flying off the handle a bit. But this feels different. Oh my god, you got the Lovers. Okay, so some of you guys, you might have Gemini placements. Some people here could have Gemini placements, or Gemini is thinking these things about you. Judgment, damn. Scorpio came through. I didn't say signs for any of the other ones, so I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say any of the other signs that come through, but those 2 energies just came through very strong. And I'm saying that because on this card it says air and water. So it also says earth here too. So some of you guys, you have air otter. Oh my god. Earth, air, and water in your chart. Or you could have any of those elements. I also just got really tongue-tied, and I felt like a little embarrassed. I feel like some people can feel embarrassed around you, but you don't make them feel bad about it. So maybe you are extremely intelligent, and maybe some people just don't know the things that you do. But I feel like you I don't know, maybe you get people to see things. So this group, I don't know why this group feels like a compilation almost of every single group. Like, you have elements of every single group. And the reason why I'm saying that is because one of the groups got the Lovers. 9 of Wands. Ooh. Oh. Aw. I feel like in this group, what you need to know is that you actually have changed. You actually have done a lot of emotional healing and work. and you are a good person. I have a friend of mine, and he says a lot, like under his breath, like, I'm a good person. I'm a good person. And I'm like, I know. But other people don't. People don't. Or wouldn't, or, don't see how good of a person they are. So I feel like in this group, you should know that, and know that, yeah, you are a good person. It almost feels like in this group, it's like you needed to hear this message. It's like hard for you to believe that you're a good person, maybe because you've made mistakes, or maybe because at some point, maybe your heart chakra was not the strongest, or you had to do certain things to survive. But I'm hearing those times are over, and that's okay. Some of you guys, what makes you a good person is that you're honest about your mistakes, that you don't lie about the things that you've done or who you have been. That makes you a good person. You know why? Because I feel like people that lie about things like that, they lie to manipulate. They lie to get things to happen in their favor. What makes you a good person is that you are not going to hide the truth for your own benefit. That makes you a really good person. A really good person, because it's hard. It's hard when you've made mistakes or you've done certain things that you probably shouldn't have. And maybe, some people, they struggle with apologizing or saying they're sorry or forgiving themselves. And I feel like in this group, what makes you a good person is that you teach other people that this is so important. Each group has, I feel like, embodied different things that are so important in life, whether that is patience, confidence, um, transformation. And I feel like in this group, it's really honesty at the core of you. Bird. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Whip. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like in this group, you probably have been one of those people that hurt because you've been hurt, that has judged because you've been judged. And I think it's the fact that you probably have gotten to a point where you can acknowledge this and see where it's come from and done the healing that you need to, or you've started on the path to do this. And this is what makes you a good person, because there are a lot of people that recognize that they could do better and they don't, because it's hard work. It's hard work to heal from abuse and conflict and pain. It really is. And it's hard work to do it when people gossip about you or say that there's no use. I almost feel like in this group, you've had a lot of people assume that you could never change, or that you couldn't get to where you are now, or that you wouldn't. And what makes you a good person is that you didn't listen to them. Is that you kept pushing, you persevered, you survived. So you do show people that it's possible, but in a different way. You show people that it's possible to be wrong, it feels like. There's some people that think that they know everything. They know everything. Oh, I take one look at this person and I just know who they are. And it has nothing to do with their intuition or their instinct. It has everything to do with the fact that they're a judgmental person, and that they probably have not forgiven themselves or loved themselves for things that they've done, or parts of themselves that they now feel like are unlovable just because another person told them they were. But you're not like that. And that's what makes you a good person. King of Wands, yeah. That's what makes you a dope ass person. That's what makes you attractive. That's what makes you charming, by the way. Some of you guys, you don't realize it, but the way people talk about you makes you seem attractive. Makes you seem attractive. I heard all publicity is good publicity. Okay. Okay. So you know how to flip things in your head. You can see certain situations differently. It benefits you. I don't know where that came from. Some of you guys have always been this way, or you learned to be this way. Like, for example, let's say you've had a lot of people gossip about you and say that you were one thing your entire life. And all of a sudden you just owned it. You were like, yeah, I am, even if you weren't. And now it's like people know you that way. People know you to be that way. Why does this make you a person? But because it almost feels like you don't submit, or like, I heard, like, break down in that way. Like most people would feel anxious or restless, or like almost like upset that the fact that people judge them the way they do, talk about them the way that they do, look at them the way that they do, try to compete with them the way that they do. But in this group, it's like the way that you handle people in that sort of energy is what makes you a good person. Probably because you understand where it comes from. Probably because you've been in their shoes before. Or just because you know better. Eight of Wands. You're so smart in this group. You catch on to people very quickly. You can tell when somebody has negative intentions very quickly. So what makes you a good person is that you probably tell your friends this. You probably can tell your friends or people that you care about when they're in a shitty situation similar to another group. So you might have been drawn to them, but you don't have to watch it. What else? Gemini. Yeah, didn't I say some people can have Gemini in this group? And here's the card for Gemini that just came out. Oh yeah, and it was so funny is that it says on this card, curiosity, intellect, and networking. I feel like in this group, what makes you a good person is that you actually take the time to get to know people. You listen to people. People can come to you and tell you the things that they've been through, the way people have done them. And I think that you listen and you give them like you lend them a logical ear. There was another group. There was another group that gave them like emotion, gave them nurture. It almost feels like in this group is that you listen to understand. You listen to almost like to get them moving. You listen just to be a friend. I had somebody tell me that before actually. That they thought I was a good person just because I was able to listen. Some people don't know how to do that. You know what I mean? Some people don't know how to like ask somebody how their day was and actually listen. Some people don't know how to be a good friend. They just don't. And I don't feel like you struggle with that. I feel like in this group, you could be a really good friend and a really good partner. Just a good person because I feel like you don't force people to do anything. You really have your own autonomy. You seem to be a very like controlled person. You seem to be very disciplined as well and someone that makes smart decisions even if you didn't used to, even if you've, I heard recovered. I don't know why I heard recovered, even if you've, made mistakes in the past. House one, yeah. This says individuality, approach to life, and self image. So I do feel like you are individual, but I also feel like in this group, you understand that there are some things bigger than you. So that makes you a good person. Four of Wands. You're loyal. You're very loyal. It feels like you're loyal to yourself too, though. Some of you guys, you have like an exclusive circle. So you make specific people feel really special, really special. Like you are the type to pick favorites. It feels like. Why do you seem like the type to pick favorites? Like, you have a favorite coworker. You have a favorite. You have a favorite worker at this store. You have a favorite. I don't know. Favorite like store to go out of a food chain that you go to, and it's like you make those people feel special. Because it almost feels like you have the power of like discernment and detachment, and that makes you a really good person. Because I feel like you don't put pressure on anybody in this group. You don't put pressure on anybody, so that makes you a good person because you let things flow. You let things flow. I think the wrong person would look at you and think you have a stick up your ass, and that you're this and that you're that. But I actually think that you are just very observant. You can take a look at a situation and know what it needs and where you fit in. And this has come from a lot of situations where it was hard for you to figure out. I heard like where you fit or some of you guys like who you were or how to engage socially with other people. Like some of you guys, you might have had like some issues with that, like making friends in the past or having like stable relationships, trusting other people. I feel like the more that you work on this, the more that you work on being your authentic self and like speaking with truth. I feel like a lot of you guys are like very direct and like some of you guys are really hard workers. So you make like your coworkers and like family and people like feel very supported, especially if you're like already married or have children or like in a long-term relationship or something like that. Like I feel like you make people feel really good to like be with you because of the effort that you put in and also because of the way that you communicate. I also feel like there are some people in this group that are like the type to try something new. But I also heard if it isn't broke, don't fix it. I mean, yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So you don't like find problems where there aren't any. So I feel like most people around you actually don't feel judged. They actually feel accepted, but only if they can communicate the correct way. Like there was another group where it was like, even if they were to explain themselves the wrong way or accidentally offend somebody, that person would still treat them with love. But I feel like in this group, it's like you always lead with like direct and honesty, and I feel like you don't waste your words, and it makes you a good person because it almost like forces other people to be more authentic, to be more in their power, to be more like authentic, if that makes sense. I think in this group, what makes you a good person is that you impact people in this way without trying. So let's say you have a friend, and for whatever reason, this friend has always felt the need to hide themselves or lie about this or lie about that. Throughout your relationship, they have learned to be more of an individual, more of an honest person, more of a person with like a healthy self-esteem and like view of themselves, more of someone with like a healthy communication as well. So let's say you have dealt with a lot of people that have had ulterior motives because maybe they felt like in the past they wouldn't get help or they wouldn't have a friend or someone to love them if they didn't lie about this or that. I feel like you show up as somebody that shows them that that's not even necessary. Like you don't have to do those things. That you actually get better things by being honest and by thinking things through a little bit more. I definitely feel like you are somebody that you don't. It almost feels like you know how like there's some people that are a little bit like uncomfortable with like mushy gushy relationships, like lovey dovey relationships. I feel like you're the perfect person for someone like that because oh hi Kimberly, only certain people should get the best of you. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Isn't that the truth? Hi, yes. Um, yeah, that's what I get. That's what I get. I feel like in this group, you're like a rebel that can go unnoticed, if that makes sense. Sorry, why is that going off like that? Yeah, I feel like you're the rebel that can go unnoticed. Like you probably do break rules, but you follow the ones that you have to. I don't know how to explain this. Like I had a client that I used to work with like for therapy, and they were younger. They had very strict parents, and their parents really tried to like control every little thing that they did. And I kind of like talked to them and got them to see things in a way where it's like sometimes you have to do this to get this. Sometimes you have to please them here so that you can do this there. And I think you're the type of person to see things that way. Like you see things for what they are. You're very smart, and I don't feel like you're delusional in any way. You're not delusional at all. And this makes you a good person because I feel like other people kind of like tap into this energy when they're around you. Like there was another group where it's like they forced other people to snap out of their illusions. They forced other people to be themselves. Otherwise they would get kicked to the curb. But no, this is different. This is different where it's kind of like it's like the people that gravitate towards you are people that know that they need to be a little bit more authentic, that know that maybe they want to work a little bit more on being more honest or work a little bit more on like being better socially, work a little bit more on like um, being more like stable and dependable in their relationships and in their friendships. And so they meet you. And I think it's like your ability, some of you guys are really honest about the things that you've been through or the things that you have done. And so this, I don't want to say forces other people, but like allows other people to like slowly try to get in the habit of being that way as well. I hope that makes sense. But I see you as someone who's more of a gentle guide. Like the first one, one of these groups was more like aggressive. But this feels like you help people improve quickly. You improve situations quickly. You improve that job quickly. You improve that friend quickly. You improve that partner quickly. So you're definitely the person that someone would date and um, like come out like better, if that makes sense. You probably have had exes like now they look better than when they were with you. Now they're doing better than when they were with you. Hmm. I feel like in this group you've been a very like brave and like courageous person since you were younger. For others of you though, you have grown into this. You've grown into this. So let's say in this group that you in the past you actually used to be more on the shy side, or like maybe you didn't used to see this strength in you because of the things you've been through, because you were bullied, or because anything like that. It's the fact that you have grown from this and like done the healing. I feel like that makes you a good person. Hmm. Hmm. I really feel like in this group you could be somebody that does a lot for like civil rights or like something like that. If you wanted to, you could be good with finance if you wanted to. You could be I don't know. I don't know if you would enjoy customer service, but you could be good at it. You could be your own boss if you wanted to. You could be an entrepreneur if you wanted to. For sure. I could see you doing a lot of different things because of how smart you are and because of how quickly you catch on to things. So I feel like what makes you a good person is that you're the person that everybody needs, if that makes sense, because you can do so much. Hmm. You're definitely not somebody that can be put in a box. I think that people get to know you. They're pleasantly surprised by how smart you are, by how the things that you know, by how down to earth or how loyal you can be. Because I feel like people might take a look at you and think, oh, they're childish, or think, oh, they only want fun, or they're only here for a good time, not a long time. But when they get to know you, it's like they learn that they actually need to get to the truth of things and assuming and stop just like believing what they already think is true. Not even what they know to be true, but they think is true. But it's the way that you check people. The way that you check people is different. It's like it's almost like a friend. Like a friend. Hey, I just wanted to let you know. Um the shit you did just was not cool and you should never do that again. But no big deal. With no hard feelings. Sort of like that. That's kind of what I'm getting. It doesn't mean you have to stick around them and like continue to be someone's like punching bag, but I do feel like in one way or another you show people like where they've fucked up, if that makes sense. Where they could be doing better. Yeah. And I feel like for a lot of you guys, the way that you do this is through your actions. Like the pages to me are communicators, right? But they communicate. It's the way that they communicate that is significant, and it's based off of the element that is attached to it. So, for example, the Page of Swords, the way that they communicate is quite literally verbally, right? But with the Page of Wands, it's different. It's through action, right? So you can communicate to somebody how much you love them by doing an act of service, right? You can communicate to somebody how much you don't like them by abusing them or telling them off or cursing them out, right? You can show somebody how much you love them by tapping into the Page of Cups energy, where you're more sentimental and like lovey-dovey and giving them hugs and kisses. Or you could be the Page of Pentacles, where you offer them a hand, or you help them tap into their true potential and be more stable and like reliable for them. There are a lot of ways to communicate with your actions or through certain things, and I feel like with you it's more of a like the way that you show up as that person to get people to be more honest and truthful is through actions. So let's say you're around somebody who is constantly trying to create conflict or arguments and debates. You will put them in their place if you need to, or you will get them to see very quickly that they were wrong, but it's because you don't play like that and you're not going to let someone walk all over you. But that makes you a good person, right? Because one, you're stopping that person from ever doing that to another person, or you're just helping them understand that that shit was not cool. Hmm. And for others of you, I feel like you could be somebody that speaks very highly of people. Like, I don't see you being somebody to gossip about someone in a negative way. I really don't. And I think that alone makes you a good person. I feel like you don't waste your words like talking about like stupid problems or things that don't matter or like gossip or anything like that. That makes you a really good person. Yeah, that makes you a good person. I feel like in this group you're very strong. Some of you guys are charming and attractive, and you do make people feel flattered and special when you give them their attention. I'm not saying that you're somebody that is like someone that people could call all the time, and at any time, and you would be there and available. But I do feel like in the times where it matters the most, you are there. When you can be, you are there, and that is just dope. And I think that it is very peaceful and calming to your lovers in this group. I feel like in this group you've touched your friends and your lovers the most, and your family. Something about the Four of Wands is coming through here, so I don't know if this is like family or somebody from like your young adult years. You could be a young adult right now, so I guess take it as it resonates. But it's almost like somebody I feel like from your young adult years that you've taught like some of these lessons. Some of you guys, it was a parent that needed to grow up. For others of you, it was somebody who needed to accept that they were actually attractive. Like they could have had body issues. You helped them with that. And there's another person here who is an older male, and you touch them, you help them. Hmm. Probably by just like listening. It doesn't have to be a male. It could have been like a masculine. But yeah. Okay. So if that resonated, please, please, please give it a like. I'm so happy to see you guys engage with my channel. Now we're gonna get you guys an angel number, and this angel number is going to kind of show like what good things you have coming towards you for being such a good person and for doing the things that you do. I really do feel like your soul path in this lifetime is to be that friend, is to communicate and through these actions. I really do feel like in this group you are not the type of person to be like all talk no actions. I feel like you have a great balance of both, and that's really really dope. So let's see what angel number you get. So we're gonna roll a number. The number that comes out will be how many cards we take off the top of this deck, and it'll be the number underneath it that will give a message of like what good things are coming towards you. So let's take a number and see what comes out. So we have 3. I do feel like I'm going to take 2 for you guys, just because I don't know if you saw, but the die went like this, kind of like before it landed on 3, it went like this very quickly at the end. So I'm going to get 2. The first one is going to be 1, hold on, 2, 3. Your first one is going to be 3, 6, 3, 5. And we're going to get one more. I don't know why the spirit is kind of calling me to get 2 for you guys. Okay, damn, 10? Are you serious? Okay, we have to take 10 off the top. So bear with me, and then we'll look at what these cards say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Oh, another group got this one. So that's why I kept hearing that you guys might have been drawn to another group, because another group actually did get 1140. So you do have a similar message. And yeah, that was the group that I felt like you were similar to. So it's very interesting. I feel like you have more of like the masculine qualities of what that group had. The other group was like different. Okay, so yeah. We have new opportunities, wealth. Let me zoom in so you can see 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we go. It says new opportunities, wealth, luck. Oh, I see your comment. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. But yeah, it says white picket fence. Priorities, love, work, family, money, school, etc. And love, prosperity. And then this one says you're doing everything right. Make sure to care for your needs and mental health. It also says harmony and creativity. So I do feel like in this group, you could probably be the friend that most people don't check on, but you handle stress in your relationships like very well. Yeah. So what you're destined for is like more harmony in your life, the ability to kind of let your creative juices flow. Because I do feel like in this group you could be very creative, but maybe you have like responsibilities, or maybe you're, maybe some of you guys you have like stage fright, or maybe sometimes you have issues with like letting people see that side of you. Like I feel like it's easy for people to see you as like smart and like maybe even fun, but there's a different side of you that is more like loyal and I feel like really connected. Like you actually do care about people, even if it's just like the special people in your life. And I don't know, I'm seeing in your future like an ability to really like show the world that side of you more. Yeah, because I feel like in this group you could have a more like gentle side, maybe that is more like reserved for like certain people, and I think that is really dope. Because like I said earlier, it's like your friends and your partners that get to see this side of you the most and are touched by this side of you the most. Because I feel like with your friends, it's like you make them feel like you're happy and like proud to be their friend or proud to be their partner. And that makes you really a good friend, because like you could have people that deal with like insecurities or things like that, or like trauma with things like that, and it almost like you just make it easier for them being this way. So what you're destined for is, good mental health. It really feels like, because I feel like you have helped a lot of people with their mental health issues without even realizing it. Some of you guys, you did know, you were completely aware of it, that you were helping people this way. You're like the wounded healer in this group. I feel like in this group, you've been through a lot. But you don't look it. You don't look like you've been through a lot on the outside. You look like, sometimes like you don't care, or like a bit unapproachable, but I think when people actually get to talking to you, it's different. I think if someone actually has something worthwhile, like worth listening to, you will listen to them. You will maybe even learn from them. But I feel like in this group, a lot of people learn from you, not the other way around. So what you're meant for is new opportunities, where it's almost like that abundance come towards you, that richness, that wealth come towards you, that white picket fence, that goal that you actually want. For some of you guys, it's like a relationship with somebody that either you're just like casual with right now, or they're like an ex. Some of you guys, you actually want to be with an ex. So that could be a possibility for some of you guys here. For others of you, I don't know if you have like a child, or you want a child, or you want to fix the relationship with your parents or something like that. I could see that happening for you. There's something going on with the home. So I don't know if this is like a child, parents, or like moving or something like that. Traveling, for some of you guys, it could be travel. For others of you, you want to quit your job. You want to quit your day job and turn one of your passion projects into like your full-time job. I could see that happening for you too. I could see that being one of the new opportunities for you. I definitely see in your future like almost like a reassessment of like priorities, and more like fun and like things that you actually love and enjoy being a bigger part of your day, a bigger part of your life. So yeah, if that resonated, please give it a like and come back for another one on my channel. I've been on live with you guys way too long today, so I'm gonna close it out now. I appreciate you if you guys watched to the very end, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.